France 24's Nadia Massih is covering that trial for us. She joins us now. Nadia, tell us a bit more about the verdict.
Yeah, these two women here convicted of slightly different crimes today. In the case of the younger woman, Nadia Massih, who was 18 at the time where she was arrested, prosecutors had argued that she intended to carry out a terror attack and she was plotting an attack here in France. Now, that appeared to be an argument that the judges here took very seriously because she was convicted today and she will receive 7 years in prison. Now, the evidence for that alleged plot was that she had been talking a lot online about jihad. She said she was obsessed with jihad, so much so that she wasn't sleeping, she wasn't eating. She'd Googled explosives that could be used to make a bomb. She'd talked about a suicide vest. And then on Snapchat, on the social media platform, she posted that she was ready to go to paradise, and she said goodbye to her followers, and she said she wanted to bring infidels with her, and that was enough here today for her to be convicted for 7 years. Now, in the case of the second woman, Jalika, she was acquitted of that plan to plot a terror attack here in France, but she was convicted of plotting to go to Syria, a crime that means that she will spend 6 years in prison. Now, we spoke briefly afterwards with the lawyers for both of those women, and they told us that they consider these sentences to be pretty harsh because these women are young, and in the case of Jalika, she has a record of long-term mental health problems. And they say that there was no physical evidence in this case that attacks were imminent.
Now, Nadia, did these two women actually get any further than planning the attacks online? Did they get hold of any bomb-making materials or anything like that?
No, not at all, and that makes it a first for France. This is the first time women have been convicted in this country of association with the Islamic State group with the intent to carry out an attack based purely on what they've said online. There was no location for a planned attack. There were no clear targets. During the trial process, Nadia Massih was asked by prosecutors, who were your targets? Was it the security forces? Was it the military? Was it teachers? And she replied, yeah, all of them. So she hadn't identified a clear target. There was no evidence either that Jalika's trip to Syria was imminent. She hadn't bought a plane ticket or any kind of mode of transport. But you have to remember the context here in France at the time. These two women were arrested in the August of 2016, 1 month after the Nice terror attacks, that truck attack that killed over 80 people here, and the same month that those attacks in Normandy took place, including the beheading of a priest. So France was in a really heightened state of alert at the time. The French government under François Hollande just then had extended the state of emergency here, meaning that the police had greater powers to try and arrest people who were convicted, who were accused of being involved in terror activities. And it is in that context that those two women were arrested then and have been convicted today.
Nadia, thank you very much indeed. Nadia Massih there.